I have quite a lot of comments on my previous videos to talk about Thailand, so today that's what we're going to talk about. Hi everybody, welcome back. But if you're new here, my name is Poppy, and in this channel I do talk a lot about my views and experiences as a foreigner living in England. So if this is something you're interested in, then please do subscribe to the channel and like this video as well if you like it. I am originally from Thailand, and as I said, now currently living in England. So today we are going to talk about something a little bit different. So we're going to talk about where I'm originally from. Without further ado, then let's get into it. I mean, we can't talk about Thailand without talking about the why. I think a lot of you have probably seen it on either on telly, or if you do yoga, then you've probably seen it as well. The why is a traditional Thai greeting, and it is still performed until this modern day. Like for example, if I go to see my family, if I see my mom, I will still why her, and that's how it is. So it's something that has been within the Thai culture for such a long time. And apart from being a greeting, it is also a show of respect as well. And because it's a show of respect, you know, the why is being used when you say hello, when you say thank you, and even when you say sorry. And because it's a show of respect, you only need to initiate the why to certain people and certain circumstances only. So typically it will be you initiate it for someone who is older than you or someone with higher status than you. So for example, your parents, your teachers, or the monks. Now, if you're someone who receives the why, it's not really a mandatory for you to give the why back to the person who just gave it to you. You can choose to just reciprocate it if you feel like it, or just, you know, acknowledge by just nodding your head. It doesn't really matter. So whatever you feel like. Unless you know someone who's Thai, I don't think you will know this. So every Thai child, when they're born at birth, they'll be given two names. One is the first name, which is a legal name, and another one is a nickname. I like nicknames that are being used in the Western world, which, you know, given later on in your life based on your personalities, characteristics, or appearances or whatnot. Nicknames in Thailand are very significant and everyone has it. So for example, my real first name is Dontri, but my nickname is Poppy, and you know, everyone knows me as Poppy. And when I introduce myself to another person, well, in Thailand, I will introduce myself as Poppy rather than Dontri. Now, over time, when people knows me a bit better, then they'll know that my real name is Dontri. So in a way, in a social circumstance, like your real name is actually secondary. So you refer to other person based on their nickname rather than their real name. Believe it or not, there are a fair few dialects being spoken in Thailand. The central part of Thailand, which is a home to the capital city of Bangkok, the population in the central part mostly will speak central dialect. However, in the south, in the north, and the northeast of Thailand, they do also have their own dialects, which they still converse in day-to-day life using their own, you know, local dialects. However, I think majority of them do know how to speak central dialect anyway. And the differences on these dialects are not small at all. They're actually quite vast. Watermelon, for example, in a central general Thai language, it is called tangmo. However, the northern part of Thailand, in the northern dialect, watermelon is called batao. Southern dialect, luk tang, and the northeastern dialect, bak tangmo. See, completely different. You may not know that it is the only country in Southeast Asia who's never been colonized by any power. Malaysia and Myanmar were colonized by the British. Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia were colonized by the French. The Philippines was colonized by the Spanish, and Indonesia was colonized by the Dutch. And the name Thai actually in Thai language means free. So in the way, I think the name is perfectly suited for its historical facts. Although it's called Thailand now, it hasn't always been called Thailand. The previous name of Thailand was Siam, and I'm pretty sure you've heard the word Siam before in any other words or other terms, and I can guarantee you that those words do have some relation to Thailand. The word Siamese twins, for example, originated from the conjoined twins born in Thailand and later on moved to the US to perform shows. There's a breed of cats called Siamese cats, and these cats are basically native to Thailand. And as you can see throughout this video, I am constantly smiling. Hence, another unofficial name of Thailand is the Land of Smile. I'm not sure why it is exactly, but this is my theory. I just think that the Thais, we just like peace. We are quite polite and we hate confrontations to passion. So I think smiling is the way that we think, if we do it, then it's the way to accomplish all of the aforementioned. So hence, people just smile a lot. And I never noticed it when I was growing up. I thought it's just normal. If I were to speak to someone and that person is not smiling back to me, then I would feel a bit like, oh, maybe that person is not interested in this conversation, or maybe that person doesn't like me. It's not until I went to the US to study abroad that I started to realize that maybe smiling all the time is not adapted worldwide and is not normal anywhere else. Thailand attracts 1 million British tourists every year, so I'm pretty sure that everyone is familiar with the name Bangkok. However, I don't think many knows that the actual official full name of Bangkok is 176 English letters long, and I don't know, but I think it must be the longest city name in the world. Just listen to it.
กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทรายุทธยามหาดิลกพบนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานอมรพิมานอวตารสถิตสกทัตติยวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์
There's one particular sport that the Thais are very good at, and I bet you never heard of it. Sepak Takraw. Sepak Takraw is pretty similar to volleyball, but it is played by your head, chest, knee, and foot. So it's foot volleyball in a way. The ball is made to be hollow inside and from material that is like quite bouncy. It's very light, so it doesn't really hurt the players when they play using those body parts. This sport is very entertaining to look at, and it is native to Southeast Asia, with the Thailand's men's team holding currently the World Cup title. In Thailand, you can see people playing this sport anywhere, like in the public places and in the park. Growing up in Thailand, I was quite familiar with a beverage brand name krungthep, and I think krungthep was actually traded before I was born. It was introduced to the market as energy drink for the rural Thai laborers, and after years and years of successful trading in Southeast Asia, it actually caught an interest from a Belgian company. They developed a new formulation or recipe that cater to the Western palate or taste, and that's when the brand name Redbull was born. So yeah, Redbull has its roots from Thailand. Vodka and Redbull, anyone? Now this is the last one that I want to mention about, and if you're new to this channel, you may not know, but I work as an accountant, so anything accounting, finance is something that I absolutely enjoy adding to any of my videos. So I'm gonna do that in this one as well. Many of you know of the world's financial crisis, or the subprime crisis, back in 2008. However, I don't think many of you know of the Asian financial crisis back in 1997. The financial crisis started in Thailand and rapidly spread all over Southeast Asia and East Asia as well. In Thailand, this crisis is known as Tom Yam Gung crisis. Don't ask me why. The main cause of this crisis was the clash in the real estate market, which eventually forced the government to float the baht, the Thai baht, which is Thai currency. If you travel to Thailand back in late 1997 or year 2000, you notice that for £1 you could get right around maybe 85 or 90 baht. comparing to now, for £1 you could only get like 40 baht or 38 baht, for example. So that's how bad it was back then. The impact of Tom Yum Goong crisis can actually be evidenced until today. If you go to Bangkok, you may see some abandoned, unfinished high-rises buildings in the city. And this is caused because of the builders or the developers couldn't finish them at that time, so they just abandoned them. So those are some of the facts of Thailand that I don't think it is widely talked about, and I thought it would be cool to share with you guys. I hope you guys know about Thailand better and you find this useful and entertaining, edutraining, I think that's the word these days. If you like this kind of content and this style of the video, then please be sure to subscribe to my channel. I do have a lot to share about England, UK, Thailand, London, and all tips and tricks, so you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, take care. I'll see you later. ขอบคุณค่ะ